Justice with Judge Mablean will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law.
You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Vincent Vinnie Charles Jr. is suing Vincent Charles in the amount of $3,000. Mr. Charles claims his father opened a credit card in his name and racked up a ton of debt. Mr. Charles claims the plaintiff gave him permission to open a credit card in his name, and he claims that he was going to reimburse him.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
You may be seated. Thank you, Will. In the matter of Vincent Charles Jr. versus Vincent Charles Sr., this is father and son suing each other. Well, son suing father. You said you want him to repay you $3,000 for a credit card debt.
All right, my name is Vincent. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, along with my father and my mother. And I recently opened up my piece of business, and my father have some charges on our business account. He's a co-signer on the business account for the business card. When I got started, I went to my father and told my father that I was having some problems getting loans because my credit is good, but my credit is not as good as it needs to be on a business level. So my father offered to assist me with that, and we went down to the bank and we was approved for a business line credit card, Your Honor.
Is he a partner of any kind in the business?
Yes, Your Honor. He is a partner in it, but a silent partner. Just basically, he just wanted to help me with the loan so I can get that extra credit that I need to open up the establishment.
And what type of loan did you get on this business line of credit?
Well, $10,000.
Okay.
It was $10,000.
All right, so you have a $10,000 line of credit.
Yes.
And now you're saying that you want your father to pay you back $3,000.
Yes, Your Honor, because he spun some charges, as I can show you, first-class flights, expensive hotel luxury charges, boat rides, just several different things that has nothing to do with the business.
All right, talk to me, Mr. Senior.
There are charges that I incurred as a joint authorized user of the card, and he was repaid for those charges. The flight down to West Palm Beach, where the restaurant is, and certain of the things related to staying there were incurred in the process of helping him get started. Me and my wife arrived. We helped him for 2 or 3 days, actually going into the restaurant, helping him get started. And we went down there in a mood of celebration. This is my son who revealed an ambitious streak wanting to start the restaurant, which I frankly did not expect. So we went down there to help him get started. And
you flew from where to New Orleans?
No, from New Orleans, where me and my wife live, to West Palm Beach, Florida.
I thought he opened the business in New Orleans.
No, Your Honor, it's in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Well, you didn't say that. You said I'm from New Orleans, and you never mentioned West Palm Beach, Florida.
Sorry, Your Honor.
All right, so the business is in West Palm Beach.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you flew there to help him set up the business.
That's correct.
So why do you have a luxury hotel 3 nights at $250 a night?
Well, that's where we
That's when he came back, Your Honor.
No, that's what I'm trying to ask him. Is this before or after he opened the business? When did you take that flight, and when did you stay at the luxury hotel?
Me and my wife took the flight and stayed at the hotel in the process of helping him open the restaurant.
Okay, so you're saying that I flew down from New Orleans to West Palm Beach, Florida to assist my son in this business, and I decided to celebrate. So we stayed at a luxury hotel, and we flew down first class. Is that your statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is that the time frame?
Yes, Your Honor. He tried to relive his honeymoon off of my business credit line.
Okay. And you rented the car for 3 days.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And you say you were there helping him set up the business as well.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Is that right? Was he helping you set up the business?
Your Honor. He came to support me, but because the luxury hotel was so nice, he spent his days there. He got his rentals and he got boat rides. And I really never seen my parents. We was texting, and he was just...
Hold on now.
He was reliving his honeymoon.
Okay.
He came down to support me, but pretty much, Your Honor, he was at the luxury hotel. He was on boat rides, which I have no problem with none of that, Your Honor, because I want them to experience West Palm Beach, Florida.
You just want him to pay it.
I just want him to pay, and I do
Okay.
not want to be accountable for any debt that is growing on a new business line. I'm fresh,
Okay.
I'm starting off, and I feel like I'm already starting off wrong, Your Honor.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
None of this came from me asking my father. My father offered that $1,500. My father offered to give and help me be a co-signer on a business line of credit.
And later,
And I knew she was never going to pay me back for those things, so I just took it from the security deposit.
Did you give her a list of all those things that you had to do?
I've mentioned it before millions of times. Can
Did you
please
give her a
respect
list?
it? No.
Justice with Judge Mablean. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Vincent Vinnie Charles Jr., who is suing Vincent Charles for $3,000.
Okay, what's the kitchen furniture? Is that the furniture for the business?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
I just want to make sure. And I see the farmer's market, tomatoes and cheese, and industrial oven, dining supplies, okay, signage and banner. All right, so all the other charges are related to the business. Now, what's your contention? Why do you think that you should not be responsible for paying for the luxury hotel and the first-class flight and the boat rental and the car rental while you were there with your son? Oh, did you give him some money or something?
I lent my son $1,500 at the start of the year, in addition to the $10,000 bank loan that I secured with him.
Okay,
Now,
so he's saying, yes, you secured the $10,000 line of credit, but he's responsible for the line of credit. And he acknowledges that I'm responsible for it. But what he's saying is that you used the credit card associated with that line of credit to do things that did not benefit the business.
But my going there was connected with the business. My flying
You said
there
that
in the first
benefited the
place.
business.
No, it benefited you.
No, it benefited the business because I helped you get the thing set up for three days.
On the boat ride?
My whole being there was a part of the business, helping him
And
get
you
started.
say the fact that you were there and the fact that you came to celebrate with him, you earned that right to go celebrate, huh?
More than celebrate, Your Honor, when I was down there, I helped him physically get the business started.
So you were working.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you
That's
said you
correct.
earned those days, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
He was in spirit, Your Honor.
In spirit.
Not in person, in spirit.
I got
That's
you.
flat out not true.
But
Your Honor.
let me ask you something. Your father helped you get the line of credit,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Without that line of credit, the $10,000 line of credit, you would not have been able to even purchase all these supplies and the equipment to open the business. Is that right?
I'm grateful, Your Honor. That is correct.
So why can't you consider that $3,000 then a payment to him for his helping you get that line of credit? Because you don't have to pay it all at once. It's a line of credit. It's a credit card. You pay it back monthly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why you can't do that?
Well, because I'm just starting off, it's still some things that I have to line up: marketing, promotion, advertisement, and with all those expenses, plus keeping the functional restaurant going on, and along with that debt, it's hard. I'm not even really breaking even. I'm not really seeing any profit if I have to pay that debt. Now,
But you don't have to pay it all at once. But think about this. But for him giving you, using his credit card, his credit to get the line of credit, you wouldn't have it.
Still
I
be-
understand.
But for him extending himself like that, then you also wouldn't have been able to buy all the equipment to do it. And the other thing, he is a co-signer on the line of credit. Remember? So he's equally as responsible ultimately for that debt as you are.
Yes, Your Honor. But when I called my father, I called him just to let him know about some deadlines and some fees that he may have not been aware of. And from that phone call, he was very rude, very disrespectful, and he did not want to hear anything that I had to say. And he's basically, send me a bill, and hung up in my face. So that's why we're here, because he no longer wanted to have a conversation like two men. How he
Well, what
said
about the
he raised me.
$1,500 cash he's saying he loaned you? Did he loan you that?
He gave that to me as a gift, Your Honor.
Oh, you said it was a gift.
He said that, son, I'm supporting you. I want to be able to be there for you in your future endeavors. And that's where we went, Your Honor. None of this came from me asking my father. My father offered that $1,500. My father offered to give and help me be a co-signer on a business line of credit.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Because the line of credit, he's a co-signer, which means he's equally as responsible for the charges as you are. Granted, they should not have been used because it's a line of credit for the business. But your father knows that he has to pay for it because he took his boat ride and he had his fun. And I don't blame you. I'd enjoyed a good time in West Palm Beach, Florida, too. Please, at your age. You earned it. But that's not good business. You know that, Daddy, don't you, if he's trying to run a business. So there's a minimum monthly payment on that line of credit for the charges that have already been incurred. So, Daddy, I'm going to order you to pay the minimum monthly fee on that line of credit for the charges that you incurred that were not related to the business. And if I'm looking at it, it totals about $2,400. I'm also going to order you, Daddy, to cancel your card and stop using it. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because if you continue to make charges like that, he's not going to be able to pay them and his business is going to fail. And the purpose of the card is when he needs supplies for the business. The purpose of the line of credit, he needs supplies, he can go get it. If he hasn't made enough money for that week or that month. When he needs to go, pay the light bill and the gas bill to keep the place running. That's the purpose of the line of credit. That's the way he's running the business. So I'm just going to order you to make the minimum monthly payments that's required by the company until you've paid that $2,400 and that you turn over the card and you stop using it, all right? Judgment for the plaintiff.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $2,400.
I'm happy that the judge was able to see things on a business level. I love you, Dad, but you know you was wrong.
I'm going to do what the judge has ordered me to do, but you still owe me $1,500.
Coming up.
And I knew she was never going to pay me back for those things, so I just took it from the security deposit.
Did you give her a list of all those things that you had to do?
I've mentioned it before millions of times.
Did you give her a list?
No.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Maurice Saint Laurent is suing Melanie Briggs in the amount of $1,500. Ms. Saint Laurent claims Ms. Briggs never returned her half of the deposit for an apartment they shared. Ms. Briggs claims Ms. Saint Laurent damaged her property after a dispute over rent and kept her former roommate's deposit to cover the damages.
This is a matter of Maurice St. Laurent versus Melanie Briggs suing for a refund of your deposit that you made.
Correct.
When the two of you rented a piece of property, rented an apartment together.
Yes.
All right, tell me about it.
So I am suing her for $1,500 security on my deposit on the rent. She didn't give me a penny back from it. She refused. So we met during our sophomore, and we're in a business class. We took a business class together for a major, and we were put together on a project for a clothing company. And we decided that we will live together and start the business together. And by the time Melanie had the best credit, although like her parents were most willing to co-sign too. So the way it ended up was that the apartment was rented in her name.
How much was the rent per month?
$1,500 for me, $3,000 for both.
Now it's time for security deposit to be refunded.
Correct.
Was it refunded?
To me, it was.
What do you mean to me? How much was refunded?
$3,000.
It's in your name only?
To me, correct.
How much did you give her?
I didn't give her any.
Why not?
Let me start from the beginning. I'm a very particular person. I like things done in a specific way. I know sometimes
But you're sharing an apartment. It can't be done just your way.
No, I know that. In the beginning, it was fine. We were sharing things. She was borrowing things. And I got to the point where I needed to set boundaries. I needed to tell her things needed to be done in a specific way because it's my personal property that she was touching using my stuff.
Coming up.
And I knew she was never going to pay me back for those things, so I just took it from the security deposit.
Did you give her a list of all those things that you had to do?
I've mentioned it before millions of times.
Did you give her a list?
No.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Marie Saint Laurent, who is suing Melanie Briggs for $1,500.
And she started bringing friends over, pushing the boundaries. Her friends were eating my food, using my clothes, my sheets, and it resulted in a bunch of fees that I had to pay for my stuff, dry cleaning.
Fees that you had to pay to whom?
I had to clean my dry cleaning, the carpets needed to be done, the couch needed to be done, and I knew she was...
And you did all that before you moved? While you were still living together?
Yes.
Okay.
And I knew she was never going to pay me back for those things, so I just took it from the security deposit.
Did you ask her to pay you back?
Yes.
Did you give her a list of all those things that you had to do?
I've mentioned it before millions of times. Can
Did you give her a list?
No.
Did you ask for that in the countersuit today?
Yes. No, I did not. I just want this to be done with.
Well, it's going to be done because you can't keep the security deposit. And if you're alleging that she owed you for some things that had been done when the two of you were living together, you have to file a lawsuit against her for that. You can't just automatically take it out of her security deposit because that's not your money. And the landlord wrote it in your name only because the apartment was rented in your name.
I understand.
But you can't sit up here now and you've lived together for a year or so, and all of these things that you claim that you had to do because of her, and never give her the list or get an agreement for her to repay it. You just can't take her money.
I understand. I've tried telling her, these are my personal property. You can't touch it. She completely ignored that.
Then you should have sued her for that.
I thought we were mature enough to not take this to court.
And you let it go.
Clearly I was wrong.
So now you're trying to get it back from her now.
I'm not trying to get anything back.
You won't give her $1,500?
I have a list of I wrote down every single thing that she's taken from me.
I'm trying to tell you I don't care.
Okay.
You're talking apples and oranges. What happened to you and her as roommates living together, where she took something of yours, broke something of yours, misused something of yours, you should have charged her for it and asked her for it back, and you should have written something down and demanded that she give it to you.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. Promotional consideration provided by... You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
If you had the couch cleaned and she didn't pay you to have the couch cleaned, that's too bad. But when the landlord went in there to determine the security deposit, it was based upon what condition is the apartment in,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
The apartment must have been in the same condition or better as it was when he rented it to you. Mm-hmm. So therefore you were able to get all of your security deposit back.
I paid to get the carpets cleaned, so it was in the condition to get the security deposit.
Did you pay to get the carpet cleaned for the security deposit?
Yes.
Then where's the receipts for all of that?
Right here.
But don't tell me about your personal property stuff. You can't deduct any of that.
Yeah.
A carpet steam clean, hardwood floor clean, Melanie's bedroom carpet clean, storage bags left by 2 guests for 2 weeks. Guest meals, $300. Oh my goodness. Was it sofa? Whose sofa was it?
It was my sofa.
Oh, sofa steam clean, that's not security deposit. So you're only entitled to half. I'm ordering you to reimburse that. $1,325. That's the order of the court.
Oh, okay.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $1,325.
You knew you should have given me back the deposit. I would have been happy to pay for the little things you wanted me to pay for.
That may be true, but the next time someone disrespects my property like you did, I will be taking them to court.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.